Oh, hey, fancy seeing you here at this momentous time because we happen to have Floater in the building. Can you guys introduce you guys? This is Alice. She just fell down the rabbit hole and she's here to talk with us.
Hey, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Floater.
Hi, Alice.
I'm Laura.
Not Floater.
This is not Floater. This is Gerbil Kris Jackson.
Alright.
We're missing one, but you can be Surrogate Steve.
Surrogate Steve, I like it.
Surrogate
Yeah,
Steve.
you can be Surrogate Steve.
That's better than Scuba Steve.
He's working the strip tonight, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Stripper Steve. Tonight.
Surrogate
I'm
stripper.
It's a thick pole.
I'm used to handling those, so I'll be Surrogate Steve for tonight.
Yeah,
They-
Steve
they always-
plays lead.
They always need closers on Monday nights.
Yeah, always be closing.
They just, I don't know. No one wants to do Monday nights.
That's right.
What he's told me, at least.
All right, I got your
Kind of a
Surrogate
slow
Steve
night,
right
not a lot of
here.
money in it.
I think this is Johnny
Johnny
Masterson,
Farrell.
to my right.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
wait, Johnny what?
Johnny Farrell.
Johnny Fair.
Masterson, where did you get that?
Yeah, where did you get
I
that?
think Danny Masterson, and Johnny, and it just came to mind. I don't know.
It just happened.
Okay.
I'm
It's just
sorry.
something that happened.
Master
No,
son.
you're
Well, that's
fine.
right.
You're fine, bro.
He's a master son on the guitar, for real.
He's a
He's a
master son.
master
He
son.
spends more time in the air than on the ground when he's playing live.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
You guys have
wild.
a
That's
crazy
awesome.
energy that you put on. I caught y'all set at East Room with Naughty Input, Barney Wells, and
Yes.
Sydney Mays. That was-
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that was a great fucking
Sweet
set.
time.
And I
Yeah.
like sometimes, like when you're watching a show, you can tell that the people are not like they're just up there and it's like really shoegazy, but you guys are really into what you're doing, and that translates to an audience. It's just a good performance as well as good music.
Thank
Love
Thank you,
that.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
I
problem.
appreciate that.
I figured you guys would be a good guest just based on some of the content you had, and also just the energy. You have good vibes.
What's an example of their content that makes you say that?
I feel like we can get kind of existential with what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We
Nasty.
I don't know. It's to be decided,
well
right?
we talk a lot of philosophy.
This is water.
It's vinegar, actually.
It's water for.
We might have had a white
football.
claw or two after we moved
Oh,
everything.
that's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Like those things are basically seltzer waters.
Yeah, what you got in there, Eli?
Sipping on a straw there, son.
It's completely ethanol, 95% ethanol.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Questionable. It might it's hidden damn well if it does. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why he's the one trying to call her. He's like, that's you.
So yeah,
You
this is
smell like
Eli.
alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Eli on the bass.
The monster.
The monster.
monster.
Monster sighting on camera.
Yeah, hashtag monster
Make
sighting.
sure the camera
Cat
can even
I
pick
try
him
not to
up
get
because
any-
sometimes it glitches when he gets on camera.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's the age.
It's like paranormal activity. It's
Yeah,
not human. Alien
So
invader.
do you know Mothman and
I do. I actually
The
went
whole
and
gang.
saw the Bigfoot Museum last weekend when I was not this past weekend, but the weekend before when I was doing those runs down in Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah. Dude, that's cool.
It was. I actually,
Dude,
I was looking at the map and I was like, it's an hour and a half away.
you
You
just
gotta
go.
go see
You
Bigfoot.
just
You have to go see
yeah,
it.
You
Are
just have to.
Detour.
Are there any cryptids you believe in? Or
I
all of
believe in
them?
them all.
All of them? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
He's
I mean,
like-
my
he's like,
logo is
"But
a werewolf.
so are they
Yeah,
still
right.
out
I
there
I
or are
literally-
they extinct?
They're not extinct. Come on now.
So there's little Mothman babies, moth boys.
Mothman, Mothman babies.
Mothman is a
Moth babies.
Mothman is actually an apparition. It's not really a
Oh, like-
creature.
Okay. Like
Okay,
from
so
another
yeah,
plate,
we're
like
talking
a
about
plane or
ghost
something?
stories.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's supposed to be legend is that it's supposed to be a forebearer of like bad catastrophes.
Oh.
So every
Whoa.
So you
time
don't want to see
something really
Mothman.
I don't wanna
because the
see
last
any
time
more.
they
I don't
saw
wanna see
that
it.
bridge fell in I forgot exactly where it is. I don't really follow that one too much. But,
jeez.
But it flew around or something?
no, it was sighted on the bridge, and then they made the
Hmm.
movie, which was kind of
Doesn't Richard Gere put a moth in his ass or something in that movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that's what it's about, right?
That's
Is that
actually
what method
you would
acting
know
is
that.
nowadays?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Or back when, I
Method
guess.
acting,
Yeah.
He got fucked by a radioactive moth and now he's Mothman.
Yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
that's why we
No
haven't seen
wonder
it lately.
SAG
Yeah,
actors
we-
are big.
That's why you've not seen Richard Gere since. He's
Right. Isn't it funny that a moth went to
Fuckers
the
got
place
names.
where the sun don't shine? You know? Come on, man.
The anti-moth.
Yeah, dude.
What's the darkest place on the planet?
Richard Gere's ass.
Turns out, yeah. All moths are just attracted. They're just like from all over the world.
Or
That's the
gerbils were,
prophecy.
too.
Don't fact check any of this.
Yeah, no.
Did you guys know that gerbils die after sex?
What?
The one that
Oh,
I
no.
fucked in.
Jesus Christ.
If you notice,
I didn't know this was about that kind of stuff. The only experience I have with that is like the CSIs of being way too underrated.
yeah, you guys have no idea what you walked into.
Yeah.
No, this is
apologize.
great. I
We were-
love this.
Yeah, we were talking about Mothman prophecies.
Oh
So,
yeah, no,
yeah.
we were just trying to introduce the band.
Yeah.
So
We were
Johnny,
getting
you,
to that,
you play
yeah.
guitar, and then Eli, you
Yes.
play bass,
Yes.
and then what do you do?
I am writer, lead singer, and pianist, a floater, and creator of this lovely little thing. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just happy that anyone's along for the ride with me. Yeah.
The wrangler of crazy people.
The wrangler of not stranglers, stragglers.
Yeah.
Stragglers. Yeah, like
Strange little
it's
stragglers.
cool.
we are.
Yeah, but any and all different types of people have come together to do this. So
What do you do?
I play the drums.
And I'm sorry, what was your name one more time?
Anthony.
Anthony. So now we've introduced the
soft-spoken
band.
guy. Don't be
Yeah.
too shy, Anthony. He's also like a
Quietness is
metalhead
power.
as much as
Ah,
this guy
yes.
is.
Taking it all in.
How do you know I'm a metalhead?
Just
The
Because you
metal.
bring the
just
thunder.
look at
Because
you.
you
Yeah,
bring-
yeah,
Just look.
Because you have like a plate in your skull, like a steel plate.
There it is.
Yeah.
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 So
So
we
how
did it.
long have y'all been playing together?
In
Man.
September.
Yeah, so
Man.
I started trying to
8
find
months.
guys to play live after putting out Cardboard in October. In November, found Surrogate Steve. That's you
No,
tonight.
right.
And a few other cats just to start doing small 3-song showcases. And then I was like, I need to write and want to write a concept record. How can anyone help me do this? Then found Anthony through another like really short showcase, actually through playing just acoustic with the piano, and then got brought on by Other Side. And he was also playing with Rob Talton at Doghouse that night. So it was like, hey, my drummer fell through, will you play? He said yes. And then Surrogate Steve, you know, he couldn't play one night. So I was
Yeah,
like, I
fuck
need
me.
another electric guitarist. Johnny fucking killed it to the point where we're like, let's just have him and Steve play. And then additionally, Dave Strumfeld played with us for a hot minute. And then he unfortunately, you know, got injured as well. And then also Eli just, you know, kind of came out of nowhere when, again, you just have to find multiple players to be able to like keep the thing
Mm.
going when everybody's playing an original acts, cover band acts, you name it. So that's where I met Eli, and then just having this like darker like edge to it also really just came across great live. So it's been great playing with Eli on bass, and both Dave and Eli recorded on the EP that we have that's unreleased. And have a lead single coming out soon. Don't know why. So it's been teased on a couple platforms.
You don't
just
know why
saying.
the single's coming out?
Don't know why is the title of the single, and I don't know when it is coming out, but it is soon. As soon as like I win the lottery, you know. No, we'll make it happen before then, but it'd be nice for both to happen simultaneously.
And then y'all have a show coming up October 22nd.
Yes, Dark Matter off Dickerson Pike. Leave all valuable belongings at home. Lock your cars, and then come rage out with us.
Yes.
Park at
We're-
Dollar General like I do.
We're
Good
on
decision.
that show with great friends of mine that I've been friends with for a long time.
Is it? We're playing with Carpool, Cinema Stare. I don't
Oh, I
know.
was thinking of Thanksgiving show, sorry.
Oh, you're talking
I
about the
didn't know.
end, which is our
Yes.
next show after that. If you can't catch the October one, is
Right.
November 21st,
Oh, first, yeah.
and that's Blackwater Down and Omen Bringer.
Hell yeah.
Shit. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
that
Yeah.
we're gonna burn the end down. You know, if it's not gonna
Yeah.
be closed by then, we might as well like take it out. with
That's-
us.
Yeah, right.
That's gonna be fucking crazy.
It's still sliming and grinding. That thing's standing still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That was
a
just-
deep.
We gotta
kind
stay
of
there
dive.
before it falls down or they tear it
It
down.
was just there. It really,
Yeah.
nothing's changed.
It's been there
Nothing's
forever.
No,
changed.
absolutely not. It's
I
fantastic.
played there in high
Which is why I
school.
want to play there.
Back was it
And,
still
and it
Elliston
was
Square?
still the same.
Elliston,
Yeah.
yeah, Place Square.
Place
you know, you'll get
Square.
to the
Some
same- you'll get
Elliston
around it.
something.
By
Yeah.
the Parthenon, yeah, West End
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
It's like all the other buildings around it have like fallen down and they're building new ones, and this place is still there.
Yeah.
Except Springwater Lounge, which has been since like the 1800s.
Yeah.
Played
Oh.
there. Floater played there. Anthony and I, we had Rory Kennedy play on guitar and Dave Strumfeld on bass. But yeah, that place, it smelled like gas, and we were just worried if like it might have blown at
I've
any
heard
point.
multiple people say that. Yeah.
Always smells
Like
like
it's
that.
the chicken joint next door. I'm like, which is like
Yeah.
attached to your building.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If there was a God and he was everywhere, he'd be everywhere but
Spring water.
Yeah,
That
we
being
checked
said,
that
I
one off
fucking
the
love
list
spring
and
water.
never looked back.
God's
We're
like,
like,
you guys still
oldest
don't.
bar in Nashville. Goodbye.
That's right.
Like,
I'm pretty sure it's actually the
we
oldest
got
bar
some
in all of
decent money
Tennessee.
from it. It
I
wasn't
wouldn't-
terrible,
I don't know.
It's a
honestly.
fun place. But God's like, you guys still don't take
Okay.
cash?
You guys
Only
still-
Only
cash,
take
yeah.
cash. Yeah.
Or you only take cash? Yeah. You still don't
I've
take
been
cards.
twice,
Is what I meant.
and,
They're like, what's a debit card?
Anywhere that
Man.
doesn't take cards but has an ATM, I'm like, fuck you.
Mm.
Sounds like the strip club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But at least that makes more sense. I can't just throw my credit card at the stripper.
Yeah.
I guess I can.
If you're new to
You
town,
can, and then,
Springwater
like,
is a
run
strip
out,
club.
Yeah, but I only have like a couple, you know. So,
It's one of those places where you
All
have
right.
to at least experience it once.
Yeah.
At
Right,
least
yeah.
once.
It's a historic place. Everything we've said about Springwater is true, and I still love it.
Yes,
It's-
yeah, you gotta go.
I've had multiple gigs there where almost people walked in
Oh
the
yeah,
venue
for
just
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
asking one person after the next
That's
for
part of
money.
it. They greet you, and then they say
Yeah.
the Lord's Prayer after they say goodbye to you. Like, I swear to
You encountered the
I
nice
thought
ones,
they
though.
worked there. They
No, I
it
gave him
took-
a
it
dollar
took-
as I was doing this, and
Yeah.
It
then
took
he said the Lord's Prayer and he wanted.
It took 5 people for someone to finally realize, can we get this person out of here?
He's not
They
gonna
are
buy a
not,
drink.
they are not here for the show. They are here
He
for
doesn't have
change.
cash.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they
How
didn't,
did he get in? Don't they
Oh,
charge
they leave the
money
back
at the
door
door?
because someone left the back
Yeah.
door open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I
They're
realized
what do
you
you mean
were
again?
serious
I
about
can't
the
believe
Lord's
they had
Prayer.
a door.
Like you
That's
weren't
the true
joking. I thought you were
story.
joking
I got there
around.
early, and then I was like, "How do I kill time?" And then someone came up just straight. I was like, please do not be a police officer. But it was
You're like,
just
"Oh,
this
thank
sweet
God
old
you're a
homeless
homeless
man
guy."
who wandered over from the park, and I was like, "God," and I was like, "No,
I got some badass music. And he's like, fuck you, I want money.
yeah, yeah, it didn't work."
You got
out. He was
37
super fun.
cents on
That was
you.
it.
Where are y'all from? Y'all
My
from here?
house.
All different
damn.
places, right? Yeah. Where are you originally from?
My house? Well, no.
Fuck.
My mom.
You want me to go back to like where we
Mom.
I'm originally from Chicago area.
Okay.
Do you like Malort?
Hmm?
Do you like Malort?
No.
Does
anyone like Malort?
No.
What is
No.
who is Malort?
Malort is a drink. It's a
See, I was like, who is he?
You only drink
Oh,
those
it's,
if you lose a bet or you have been peer pressured to drink
Oh,
it.
it's like getting smart.
I don't know. I'm not from Chicago, but
Yeah.
I love the spirit of it,
Ice.
so I drink it all the time.
It's
It's
like
like getting iced.
it's like
Except
wormwood, right?
it's
Like,
terrible.
it's
It's pretty awful.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's actually
it's
pretty
But you
awful.
know of it.
so it's
Yeah.
a liqueur, but you know most liqueurs are like super sweet. It's the exact opposite. It's super
Yeah.
bitter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
extremely bitter.
Extremely.
It's like liquid garbage, basically.
As a
Except for-
That's a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually about right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of great because you do it to torture each other,
Yeah.
and I've done it so much that I'm almost immune to it now. So I love to take.
So he
Malort
actually
shots
likes
with
the
people.
taste of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
It's like-
no.
It's like eating up black
Nostalgia
licorice. You
to it
might,
for
you
you.
might like
I
it
enjoy
eventually.
doing it
Yeah.
because it's funny and fun, but no, I don't like the taste.
It's like
I-
really great if you hate yourself.
and I
It's
did-
gonna crack open when you're kicking back.
I did back to back.
Let me
Malort
just crack
shots the
open
other
a
night.
can
It was
of
not good.
Malort.
And some sardines and spam. on
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Yes, it was,
Oh,
it was whatever. So
I was
Chicago.
also born in Chicago, but then adopted and then raised outside Atlanta, then came to Tennessee. Can't believe it, like almost 10 years ago.
Kind of makes sense. Like we're in the middle. Of
Yeah,
Atlanta
I mean,
and
just
Chicago.
I mean, yeah, I
sorta.
loved Georgia, but I was like, I need to get to a school that can give me anything with like music business type stuff. Because Dad was like, "You're gonna go to college." I'm like, "Fine, I'll get a Bachelor of Science," quote. in recording industry so I can know how to get paid, not get sued as it relates to like being a songwriter and an artist and basically a label now since you're an independent business, since you can do it all yourself. Like,
Yep.
So I was like, how do I do that? And so I was like, let's go to college with that.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and then I've been out of that doing licensing and stuff while also doing original project now. Floater with
Yeah.
a 1. F1. Like the
F1oater.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like to go fast.
Where you from, Eli?
That's, well, I was raised in Connecticut. I moved here in high school.
Oh, okay.
I graduated from high school and moved to Texas. Then I moved to Washington, D.C. And then I moved to Baltimore. And then I moved back here about
Okay.
20 years ago.
Like you put the
I'm old.
late
The
night,
nomads. The nomads.
you put the late night FM radio DJ voice on to tell us about where your journey.
I feel like
Is that
there's
what
a
it
fire
was?
about to
Yeah.
start in the middle
Sorry,
of the table.
I like
just
it.
came off of the tour.
Roast some
I don't know.
fire.
No,
We're
I
all a little
loved it.
delirious.
Yep.
I feel you.
Y'all just
Yeah,
got back
but
from
I was-
So
tour?
you got us
No,
at a
I
good
didn't.
spot. No, yeah. You were just on the road. You were doing a motorcycle festival, right?
Yeah, I went to Tomahawk, Wisconsin. No, don't go. No,
I
no,
would've
no,
gone.
I didn't
Was
say
it
that.
Is that like,
It was a great
is
place.
that the most north?
We were
Wisconsin place
almost to
ever?
Canada. Let me just
Yeah,
tell you
for
that.
sure.
How long
We were like
was
Sounds
towards the
like
Upper
it.
Peninsula.
Oh,
The drive was
God.
about 14 hours.
Oh, geez, yay. Sounds like a good drive, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great crowd. It looked like around 1,500 people.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And who were you playing with?
I was playing with Cordell Winter,
Nice.
Nice.
if anybody knows who that is.
No, but nice enough to bring in that crowd. So good enough for
1,500 is
me.
a lot of people. I just got back from Muddy Roots a couple weeks ago, and I don't think they had that kind of.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I don't think there was anything else around,
I got you.
That's funny.
and the people were interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I bet.
So were the accents.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
big
yeah.
one.
Yo, what was
Oh,
her?
yeah.
Oh, that's Canadian.
Well, it's
Well,
close
they
enough.
were, they were a
Close
lot of them
enough there,
spoke
guy.
like they were Canadian,
Okay.
but they still had that kind of Wisconsin.
It's like such a high frequency. Though.
Yes.
It almost like it
Ooh,
pierces.
It's almost like
It's like, how do you
Minnesota,
all
too.
sound like?
Yeah,
It's
we're
like it makes my
in
ears bleed.
Canada.
Of
You need
Minnesota.
like a mixed
and-
word just to listen to.
Ah,
that.
there we go.
I mean, but
No
they were,
offense,
Going out
no
to the
offense.
queue.
Strong.
but,
strong
but, but they were really, really nice. I saw a lot of boobs. I mean,
That's
it
a
was
common
great.
trend with you, I hear.
I feel like
There's a
that-
lot of-
It really is.
Yeah.
They flock.
That's
to
rock and
Eli.
roll.
I mean,
Yeah, it just
I mean,
makes
it'd be my
sense.
birthday party. That was the theme, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was there
It's
was
a
a
good
lot.
thing.
That was the synopsis of what
Y'all were there.
Kind of felt like everyone's birthday that day.
Yeah, it was.
We were
Well,
celebrating.
it's my birthday. It's all our birthdays on
We're all
that
within a
day.
month of each other at birthdays.
Whoa. Wait,
Steve's the
really?
only well, not year, but the
Yo,
month.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What month?
I know.
You're July 23rd, or
Goddamn, yeah.
right?
What's
Yeah,
going on?
July 23rd, and then he's August. No, you're August 5th.
Yep.
August 5th, and then you're August 8th. I'm the August 14th, and then
Jeez,
Steve. Sorry,
Yeah.
Steve's in November.
that's
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
Leo?
Yes.
That yeah. Wow, a lot of Leo.
Depending on who you ask.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It's that weird
Yeah.
gray line.
There's multiple ways to like calculate it, I think. Or
Well,
like
I'm
they
smack
added an
dab in the
extra
middle,
month.
So.
I just love watching people that believe in that fight over if I'm a Leo or Cancer. I'm just like,
Oh, you're such a Cancer.
they're like, no, he's
Yeah.
just a Leo because X, Y, and Z. I'm just like, the real answer is I'm just insufferable.
So
When
actually,
when
I'm
were
a
you
human
guys
being.
born?
April 4th.
February 2nd.
So do y'all believe in the whole horoscope thing? We wrote a song, Orbital Retrogrades, which Surrogate Steve told me his one comment for this podcast. So here you go, Steve. Is that Orbital Retrogrades, one of our tracks on the EP, has to be last, and that's his
It is
final
the
word
perfect closer.
is what he insists.
Nice.
We always, I never
But
noticed that, but we do.
It
always
was
play
a
it last.
play on
Yeah.
making fun of girls being like, Mercury's in retrograde, like I can just like let go of all responsibilities because the planets are like upset or something, you know, and like I'm like, that's I get it to a degree, but I also am not gonna base my whole life on it.
For sure.
Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe in astrology, but it's like a lot more complicated than a lot of people like fake. Like if you know this month, like I can determine things about you, like that kind of
Or
stuff.
the
Is
time
not.
you were born.
It's kind of bullshit. But
I
Like,
heard
it's
not
not
to
a sure
disclose
all.
that.
Like it's a good
Yeah.
guess. Like
the thing about like astrology is it's more than your sun sign. Like it's your moon sign, your rising sign, and then like all of these other astrological bodies that like create like a much more fine-tuned kind of scope of it, I guess.
yeah.
That's what all the crazy people say anyway.
No, it's
Like
true though.
him.
I've also heard this. I'm just not as
Yeah.
educated
I
to
know.
like
I just like to
speak
give
on
it
it.
personal. I'm sorry.
I mean, like it could be absolute bullshit. I have no idea.
I
But
mean, planets. I mean, those things bigger than we are. They're probably doing a lot
Yeah.
more shit than we got going on.
that's
you
kind of what
never
I was
know,
gonna say
right?
about it is like
It's bigger than us.
I'm a complete determinist. Like I think basically we're all the same person. And what makes us like the soul, I guess, that drives us is identical. Like you and I are exactly the same person. And what makes us different is like our biology and the things we go through. So like that would be like your genetics, like what your parents bring to the table, and then also like diet, just life experiences. So there is somewhere contained in that like position of the stars, and it might be like a very minuscule like effect on who you are, like based compared to like what you go through. Like that's not going to be as big of a deal, but it would have some kind of impact on who you are. Like just in a very like vague sense, like what month you're born in is like if you're born when it's cold, that might affect your personality versus you're born when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
Or like every day on your birthday it's hot versus every day it's cold. Like that would have some minuscule effect on you. So I think you can't like really, I don't know, it's not like a law like where people like of this sign act like this or something, but I think it's an interesting guideline that is eerily accurate sometimes.
You're really,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I can't knock it to a degree. I'm like, it's not wrong completely. Yeah, it's not always wrong, but it's
Yeah.
damn near close
Mm.
on a lot of these things. I'm like, well, that was weird.
And
Right.
time of year you're born can affect things just also because of the way like society is structured. So like if your birthday is later in the year versus earlier in the year, it affects how old you are in school. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can be the oldest
Yeah.
person in class. And I remember reading something about that because I have a daughter who's her birthday is August 26th. And the year that she turned 5, they moved the cutoff date so that she had to wait another year.
So she's gonna be the
Um,
oldest versus the youngest.
For sure. And they were like,
Which
well,
that was
so-
my experience. Was always the youngest because they kept moving it out. You know.
yeah. Well, they were like, you can press the issue and like get her to go now, or you can just say fuck it and wait the year and she'll go when she's supposed to. And then I like looked into it and they're saying that there's advantages to being the older one versus the younger one,
Yeah.
especially like physically, like you're more developed, mentally more developed, especially those early years
Yeah.
Hmm.
than the kids that are the youngest in the class.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I'm
I
just
was
happy
like-
to get out early.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I was like, younger the better, guys.
Right, absolutely. And it was like it ended up working for us to wait another year and we did that. And it's been cool. But that hearing about that just made me think of like, oh, like the time of the year that you're born does like have an effect, like in a like tangible, understandable way. It's not just the stars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to say that that doesn't have an effect.
I mean,
I don't know, but
yeah.
there are things like that play too.
Or like if you're born like near Christmas, it's like your birthday is not, I don't know, like some people's birthdays get
Yeah.
neglected.
It does
Like if
kinda
your birthday is
suck having a
December
birthday
24th,
around
like
Christmas.
Yeah.
you're gonna have
It's like no
Nobody
one
knows.
fucking cares, dude. It's almost
Nobody
Christmas.
knows.
Yeah.
Be born another time, dude.
Yeah.
Why you gotta be so fucking
Sorry.
inconvenient for everyone?
I was in February and I still feel like I kind of got shit for being too close to Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
It's your
Much
fault.
less like if you were like right on it. But it's funny, like you hear a lot of people that are like they say that their parents like really made an effort to distinguish the
Mm.
two a lot of times.
Yeah.
But yeah. Where are you from, Johnny?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Hell yeah.
An
You a
upstate.
Bills fan?
Yeah, I'm a Bills.
And you have to be if you're from
Fuck
Buffalo,
yeah.
right? Isn't
Yeah.
it like
You're in, I don't know. You're not yeah.
Upstate. Isn't Steph from upstate?
What?
New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Old Buff too.
Yeah.
Who? What?
See, nobody
Steph?
calls it, but I
Steph.
said Buff.
Stephanie?
I said
Oh,
she's
she's from
Buffalo.
Albany. I
She's
think.
from the
Oh,
buff.
right.
I said Old Buff. She's from Buffalo too.
She's
Yeah,
an
no.
old buff, ain't she?
No, not that.
Oh my
The
God.
town. Goodness.
It'll catch on if we just do it often enough. It's like,
Oh,
oh, you're
I
from the
love
buff?
The buff.
The buff.
Ah, yeah. She's
She
a buff.
probably never watched.
She's a
it,
buffer.
The booth.
This is that's the home of the buffalo wing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you. I love it here in Tennessee, but there's something about food in Buffalo that it's just not the same, bro.
I think what gets me about Buffalo is the cold.
Mm.
I've been there many times.
Yeah,
It's-
I mean, I lived in it for 20 years, over 20 years, and you don't get used to it because it changes every year. Most of the time, you're trapped in like 8 feet of snow, driving through blizzards and stuff. It's fun.
Did you come here for music?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
man.
I guess like 2 or 3 years ago, something like that.
I've only been here like a year and 8 months,
Nice.
so yeah, it's been a ride so far.
So has this been Buffalo and Nashville?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I mean, I've been other places, but not like, yeah. This, first
We've
time
both-
I'm on like my own. It's crazy.
We both grew up like relatively close to here, but not in Nashville. I grew up like an hour and a half south of here, and then you grew up like a couple hours east of here.
East Tennessee, yeah.
Oh, there
Pigeon
you go.
Forge, Gatlinburg.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
area.
Okay, right on. Yeah.
And you came here,
Yeah. It's the closest like
trying to
real
get away
city.
from the bears,
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's really pretty there though. I'd go there a lot living
It
in
is.
like metro Atlanta, going up to the cabins or woods or whatever was like Blue Ridge Mountains or like Pigeon Forge stuff.
Yeah, it is beautiful out there. My friends are doing their wedding out there in November, and I'm like, that's a good place to do it. Like,
For
Oh, yeah.
sure.
it's like secluded, like you can just kind of like party afterwards. It's not have to work. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like close enough too that like you can actually get people to come rather than like if you did something extravagant, like went like out of state or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'm not coming to your fucking wedding in fucking Nebraska. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanna
but
get married
that's
with
like
the
just a few
mountains.
hours away, so it's not so bad.
Nebraska?
Well, Tennessee
Yeah.
can surprise you
Yeah,
because
it's
it
not a
could
bad
still
drive.
be like 6 hours or so, if
Yeah.
you go to like
Yeah.
some little corner because it's just like a parallelogram basically.
Or you can sit in traffic for 6 hours.
Yeah,
Hell
just
yeah.
corner to
Yeah.
corner,
Yeah,
it's
sure,
8
yeah.
hours.
It'd take you 6
Yeah,
hours
dude.
to get to
Arkansas might be closer than somewhere in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like,
That's true.
I still don't want to go to Jonesboro ever again. But I did for a wedding. And
Is that in
I'm happy
Arkansas?
for them.
Jonesboro, where is that? Is that in
Arkansas?
Tennessee? Oh, it's in Arkansas. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little town. in Arkansas. There's nothing bad about it.
I like Arkansas.
It was there.
Arkansas.
I was gonna. Yeah, Arkansas.
Small little town.
It's our Kansas. Actually. What do you think?
That you guys have the band Dad Hats from here?
Dad hats.
You know them?
I've heard of them.
Nash
I'm
cats.
not seeing them.
Nash Hats, Dad Cats.
Yeah.
How many rhyming bands are there? That'd be funny.
But
um,
I'm saying they're from here. Then or they're local.
Yeah,
band at least.
they're at least based here now. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about before that, but I saw them at Cobra. And speaking of Malort, he was like, one of them was like giving people Malort shots, and he
What a
handed,
jerk.
Fantastic.
he handed me one,
Excellent.
and I was like, "Our Lord, comrade." When you share Malort, it's our Lord.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
both
Our
suffering
Lord.
together.
Yeah, right, yeah.
My Lord and Savior.
Mm,
Yeah.
So I think you mentioned that the EP coming out is a concept record.
yeah, it is.
Are we talking about what it's about yet, or?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely it's kind of just the end of a chapter from where I was and making music with the people I was doing it with into finding this new sound, reinventing something else to love and play live and share with people and just, write about real life situations and be relatable. But yeah, kind of like the death of one thing and the birthing of another. It's like basically the concept record and keeping it ambiguous enough to like relate to whatever it is that feeling of like loss and then growth again could be for a person, a thing, a season of whatever you did in your life, or and then it's gone, job, etc. So
Mhm.
yeah, it kind of was just what happened to me, and then all the people who wrote on it, you know, a good handful amount of people to say, you know, just kind of also nurtured that. I shared what I went through and what I was wanting to see as a vision. They're like, all right, what did you experience? Like, and yeah, it was super cool. So, and then from the recording standpoint, like it kind of just expanded beyond that of finding players he wanted to. We went into Spotify Notable Studio and here in Nashville, and got to live track that, and then did a ton of post production things and had overdubs of a lot of stuff. So yeah, like I'm getting Mike Sapone to mix, don't know why. So he's, you know, done people like Motion City soundtrack, you know, brand new.
That's awesome.
Oso, you know, Taking Back Sunday. So
Right
yeah,
on.
he's doing the first single, and we're giddy about it. So we're excited, just like fine tuning it right now.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thanks. Yeah, it's a long time coming, but also like it kind of only really started in November, and then like we've only started playing together since May, you
Mm.
know,
yeah.
and like, you know, smashing those like 9-song sets, just kind of ready to take it to the next level of like wanting to plan like playing more of like, you know, a little weekend run or something like that. I don't know. And then also just like making the live shit,
Do
just
you want to
like
go to Tomahawk?
I don't know, you know, whatever. We'll just have
Let's
to, you know, to get
go.
my booking agent pants on.
Maybe
Hey, well.
maybe stop a few places along the way. Maybe don't just
Nope,
go
just
to
one.
Tomahawk.
there
As
and
long
back.
as it's not Chicago, we're good.
Yeah.
Hey, we got peeps in Chicago. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
All right. On the way there, I swear I was stuck in this traffic jam for like
Man, I got there and back, no problem.
4
No
hours
problem.
trying to get around Chicago.
Ah,
Well, I was-
shit.
You just hit a bad day.
I think it was
No, it's
like
always a bitch.
it was like Mexican Awareness Day or something.
What?
Look it up. It was a thing
It's
because I saw it on
always Awareness Day,
Facebook or
though, yeah.
Instagram. But next thing you know, I'm driving through Chicago and there's just like everybody's got the Mexican flag on the back of their car, giant, and people are like
I
out the
saw this
window
happen
like.
in Nashville.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
that happened.
It's
What was
very
it, 2
like
days ago?
multicultural.
And-
Literally.
Yeah,
Which is
dude,
what I
that was
kinda love
that was
about
crazy.
it.
It was
But
thir-
it was
it
the
was
traffic jam. I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to like
no. When
drive
they're
8
going
hours
down,
north of
we're
there.
not
because it
getting
was when we
nowhere.
did the podcast
They have
Friday.
parades and all that
Really?
stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
Because I ran
It was
into
kind
it
of
for
a
a
last minute
second
thing
on
too,
my
because
way
we were like,
here.
which way do we go?
was
Do
like
we
all
go up
going
this
down
way
over
or do
at
we go this
Eastland
way? Well,
State.
this way seems a little quicker, and then
And I didn't know what the fuck was
Always
going on.
take
either.
and half the interstates were shut down and like literally blocked off. It's like, woof.
Always
Nice.
take 57.
And so we're like driving through the city and you know through the ghettos and
Oh yeah, Chicago.
Did you guys hear about
National
Uh,
Lampoon's
Burning Man?
Vacation came
Oh,
through.
What
didn't
about it?
flood at Burning Man?
yeah,
Yeah.
like Vegas flooded bad, and
Whoa.
Burning Man got fucked. Not
Oh,
only
no.
not only
The
that,
festival, right?
yeah,
The man, actually.
yeah, Burning Man got
I
bent
know it was
over.
like another like Bigfoot
By a
kind of
flood.
apparition,
Yeah.
Put the fire out.
like
Right.
the Burning Man.
Burning Man's alive. That's
Yeah.
how flooded it is.
No, the
Wow.
whole festival and all its
Yeah,
He's doing great.
and like and
attendees.
too bad.
and Vegas also just like completely got fucked over.
Isn't it a desert?
Yeah, yeah. So like this
That's what makes it
Nevada,
worse, right?
just
Yeah.
sheets
It's
of
like
rain.
cement
Right.
times type
Yeah.
shit.
Once a
Right,
year it does it
exactly.
there, but that's all the rain they get.
Mm.
All
It's
in
bad
like
timing.
3 days.
Was bad time.
Yeah.
And apparently there
The
were a bunch
mudslides
of
are real.
like oil protesters on the interstate getting there, and like conscious that people were coming to Burning Man. So it's like those people like the attendees just got like completely fucked over because like there was like miles of traffic because of these protesters blocking the highway. So then that happens, and then they get there and it gets completely flooded out. Like yeah, Burning Man got fucked up.
Oh shit.
Man, it does like suck to like pay so much money to go to a festival, and it just like when we were young fest, I had a friend who went to that, and like the first day got canceled because of like high winds or something, and then like there just weren't even enough vendors or even like bathrooms versus people versus like just trying to coordinate it, but it went off better than a fire festival.
I was just about to say
not
Fire
saying
Fest.
much, right?
They're
Y'all-
doing it
you-
again.
Woodstock
Going back.
99.
No,
I was
he's
gonna
not.
say y'all should have
They
seen
make so much
Woodstock
money on
99.
it.
That's insane.
No, they are. They're doing Fire Fest again.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Are they?
because that was such a good idea the first time. Yeah.
That's
I
terrible.
wonder if it'll just be like a name only thing and like do it somewhere completely different. Like, or maybe they're just gonna do exactly the same thing again and expect different results, because that would be epic. That'd be fucking hilarious. I think everyone knows about Firefest at this point, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a Netflix account or Hulu, they
Yeah,
had it on
right.
both.
You know about that and Tiger King, and that's that's your
It was around
education.
the
Yep.
pandemic or right before it, people were
Yeah.
Our first show with Moonlight Drowns, we did the Dumpster Fire Festival at Springwater.
perfect.
Oh, wow.
That is a great analogy.
Actually, probably bad with the amount of gas that you smell there, but like,
Yeah,
yeah, but that's perfect.
yeah, it was constantly setting on fire.
Nice. Yep.
She hasn't burned yet.
Yeah, I met William James with Sleeper Signal.
Oh, he was playing-
He played that. And Karma Vulture.
William
Oh,
James.
damn, this is on
I
Springwater?
love all
Yeah.
the names. That's why I
Yeah.
love the punk rock.
William
fucking,
James is my dude.
William James is awesome. Voltage Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
There was a
Oh,
lot of
those
cool
guys.
bands there. It was a lot of fun.
That's sick.
I didn't even know
We
about
need to
that.
do it again. I think it was what's his name? Badash Corey put it on.
Nice.
That makes sense.
What we were talking about, what you guys were listening to growing up, like what your parents put on the car. Did I ask that already?
Nope.
No.
Oh, well, it was on my mind. That's what I meant.
We
to
were
ask.
talking about it, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I was talking about it.
He's like, I'm talking about it now.
I feel like I'm a late
Because we're doing it
bloomer.
now.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So like when you're in the car as a kid, what did your parents put on?
Contemporary Christian radio. from
Okay.
My
Yeah.
mom.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same.
that was
Yeah.
mom's go-to, and dad had a few CDs that was like Rod Stewart, like Celtic Women, ABBA, and Bruce Springsteen. I was like, it had the Toyota convertible like top down, like we need to question our sexuality, maybe. I'm like, apparently it's
And
all
ABBA.
good. Yeah, those were my delights if I got to, and then. But growing up with like NSYNC and Britney Spears outside Metro Atlanta too, so a lot of rap, a lot of rock, and then loved like the emo rock scene in like early and late 2000s and stuff like that. So then once I was conscious enough to start finding music, thank God for the internet,
Yeah.
and CDs. At least I still was like the physical to digital crossover. So yeah.
How about you guys?
Like what my parents
Yeah.
played or what I chose.
Like before you could choose, and you're just going off what your parents show
Before
you.
could choose.
Yeah, you just had to listen to what your parents made you listen to in the car.
A lot of classic rock, heavy metal. My dad was really into Korn and Pantera. So I just,
Oh,
hell yeah.
When you were growing up under my.
I love that.
Huh?
Was like,
Dad's like, you're gonna love
Dad's
this.
like, you want to show
Forget
your
how old
age?
I am. I'm like, oh yeah.
I was about to say, you want to show your age again?
Yeah, I
It
can't
was
wait. I
coming.
can't wait to hear
Yeah.
what.
My dad had that. Yeah, I think I just remember a lot of classic rock, like 70s and 80s, a little bit of 90s. And then as I got older, I got more into try to get more into jazz, prog music, just really anything I found challenging to try to like push me to be a better musician.
Nice.
Cool. We'd ask Eli, but they didn't have car radios yet. So
We
What
were,
were they
we
spinning?
were actually sporting the 8-track
Spinning
back
on
then.
45.
Were you?
They were for real. I was
The
Pat
Spin the
Benatar on
8-track.
the 8-track.
Yeah.
8-track's not bad. That's
Pink Floyd on the 8-track.
Yeah.
Hey.
What
And
is
then my father found he was he really loved punk, like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, it's the
punk.
best era of punk.
Like Sex Pistols and the Ramones
Yeah.
and the Clash.
Yeah, I love
And then he
Clash.
graduated to Iron Maiden and early Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer. And so that was a lot of my middle school years.
I love the emphasis you put on early Metallica.
Well, I mean, it was by the time
Not
the Black
mozzarella.
Album came out, I was already grown and
Yeah.
I was doing my own thing. I think as far musically, a game changer for me was probably when I heard two things, actually, two different styles of music. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sex Sugar Magic. When I heard that, and then Pantera.
Nice.
It's just like literally two sides to the same coin.
Dude.
And then we heard new metal, and I was like, well, that's perfect. And so that's what I did for a long time.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
as well as anything else I could do to actually make a living doing it in my 20s and 30s.
Who was your favorite new metal band? If you could pick one, or especially at
Well,
the
I
time,
mean-
especially at the time.
At the time,
Mhm.
you know, I was really liking Corn at the time, and Limp Bizkit. And I guess my favorite would be Deftones.
Hell yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
Met Chino a couple of months ago. Actually.
Really?
It was really cool.
You met him?
Hmm?
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, my buddy Greg was in
Yeah,
Um,
Shake the Tune.
no,
You're not talking about that, Greg.
no, Greg Pachado, actually.
There's some
We were in a
Greg,
band together in Baltimore, and then when we split, I went to Mindstep and did new metal hardcore, and he joined Dillinger Escape Plan. And then from Dillinger Escape Plan, it just branched off into everything else. And he was on tour and came to the Basement East for his like one of his solo things that he does, which is really good. If you want to check it out, it's extremely. And Chino just showed up to watch the show,
That's
and
awesome.
so we were all backstage together. Just so
You have to
Shit,
remember next
shit,
time
man.
it's Chris in
Wow.
town because Dillinger Escape Plan is one of my all-time favorite
They're
bands.
so good.
yeah, next time I see Greg, I'll call him and tell him.
You sound like Will.
I mean, literally, we were a band before anybody knew who either of us were.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've been around for many years.
What's your favorite Deftones record?
The White Album.
Yeah.
It really is just, to me, it's a perfect album from beginning to the end.
Mm.
It just, all the songs flow together, you know, both hard and soft, just kind of dark overtones to it. You know, Alice in Chains Dirt's kind of the same way for me. Pearl Jam's 10 was like that. I like albums like that. I will listen to them from the beginning to the very
It's
end.
just kind of seamless.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring back albums. I mean, we're gonna like
Yeah.
accidentally beat
Yes.
people to like record. Nobody wants our concept record. That's fine. But we'll give you the singles because guess what? We're too broke to give you the concept record all in full anyways.
At
So
the end, when you
you're gonna
finish
get singles
buying this,
anyway.
at the end, when we finish buying the
Yeah.
singles, then they can buy the album.
Yeah.
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 Well, when people had to pay for music, it was so different. And now, you know, people might have a subscription plan, but even that model is so skewed and actually in the artist's favor. Like your digital service providers are getting 85% of the profits versus what 15% is going to the songwriters. And then you're barely making anything off that on the artist side either. So it's like, it's hard to make any money off of
Yeah.
like streaming, honestly. So it's like when people buy your merch product for a CD, even if it's gonna be a paperweight, or if you have a car under 2014 or whatever,
Shirts.
like, yeah, but I mean, pressing anything just feels like a memento now too. But I still like having physical copies of something personally. So it's like even if people won't listen to it, I feel like a lot of people I've experienced on tour will still buy it. Like
Yeah.
they want you to
To
sign
have
it
something
too.
tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I collect cassette tapes. I like it when people do that. And like vinyl is another like kind of just like a niche collector's thing that people get. I think I know more people that like collect vinyl that like don't listen to vinyl. Like they're just sitting there more than
I
yeah.
don't even have
Yeah.
a player right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I
people
actually have a player. I just never use it. If I really want to listen to something, I will just stream it on Spotify. But I did buy the album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
you're fine.
It's
If you're
ethical
paid, you're giving them more money. honestly.
consumerism.
That's the
And I
model.
buy
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 it, it'll
CDs
give you
too.
money
Buy
to
it
listen to it.
and
It sounds
stream it.
better on
Yeah,
there
yeah.
anyway, just FYI. So they
Well, I
compress
mean-
the shit out of this stuff on the
And I buy CDs too, even though I can
Yeah.
easily just stream anything I want.
I buy CDs I
Um,
can't listen to them. I don't even have anything to put them in. But I'll buy my friend's CDs.
Yeah.
Just go to
Or
a pawn
exchange it.
shop and get a
Right.
CD player.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
easy. They're
McKay's.
what, $10?
Nashville.
McKay's. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Johnny, what did your parents have popping at the
Yeah, at the fair household. A lot of Beatles, a lot of the Who, British Invasion stuff, and then a lot of like Motown,
Nice.
like Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles, and
That's what's up.
yeah, man, all kinds of stuff.
Has that influenced the way you play, like the kind of music you like making?
Yeah, I mean,
It tastes good.
I like a lot of I guess kind of bluesy stuff, but
Mhm.
it's like you know, there's a soul aspect to singing that I've always enjoyed, you know. So
Yeah.
like I'll try to break it out when I can, but sometimes it just turns out kind of squeamish, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, almost like hard to replicate that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I give my best interpretation of it, you know.
I mean, that's probably like better than like making a perfect copy of something is making something like your way. Like now that's
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's a, I guess in a world with so much music, it's like, how do you really keep originality
for sure.
on the table, you know?
Yeah.
So you kind of do your, like I said, like your best interpretation of the artist you admire, and that's how it works.
And when you like blend genres together, it like creates something unique.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I started listening to, you know, music I really liked, it was like Green Day and Foo Fighters, a lot of that like kind of early 2000s rock, and you know, some 90s stuff, you know. But yeah, like I don't know, it's all good, you know.
Hard segue. What do you guys have any? I used to say ghost stories, but what I really mean by that, like to tailor it down more, is do you have any like experiences that you couldn't like explain with logic, like something that happened that you don't really understand what happened?
I woke up this morning.
That's it. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
The
like
phenomenon of like,
it's kind of fucking crazy that we exist at all.
I was
yeah,
gonna
right,
say
yeah.
we could go on an existential rabbit hole with even just that.
Yeah,
we woke up
right,
this
right.
morning, right?
all right, guys, we're
Right,
gonna do
right.
an 8-hour mushroom trip right now. Everyone get your dosage ready and let's go.
Yeah, but where were you when you woke up? Like before you woke up, were you in maybe?
Oh, dude.
I was so spent yesterday when I got home. I literally came in and I talked to my wife who was out of it too, Mindy, because she had taken her nighttime medication. And I ate 2 burgers she made for me before she took the medication. And I
Just
sat
took a
in
little
bed
medication.
and I rolled over to go to sleep. And literally the minute I closed my eyes, I felt her shaking me to wake me up. So there was no dreams at all. I was just
Oh,
gone.
dude, yeah.
It was like one of those.
Even the subconscious was
The
like,
worst
fuck it,
sleeps.
I'm going to sleep.
Like everything
Wow.
shut down.
That's called a coma.
Yeah, dude, yeah,
It
right.
really was. I was
Well,
just
no crazy shit with all of the crazy places that you've traveled. Nothing weird's happened that you can't explain. That seems
Like a
like
ghost?
nobody around. Somebody
well, I
around.
mean, I did see Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, you're
Once or
literally
twice.
some big
And
All
the
right.
Mothman, right in
I
Chicago.
did
Yeah,
not
he-
see the Mothman
He
in
said
Chicago.
like if you had
There might have been, but I didn't see him.
There was a Mothman on a bridge fell down or something. Didn't you say?
that's
Yeah,
just
that
what
was
it is.
somewhere in. I don't really follow that. So
He didn't. Yeah,
I
I
just
thought
know
it
a
happened
little
to
bit
him.
about it, and that's about it.
Yeah.
No, but I remember I was on tour in I think I was going from Oregon to Seattle, and I saw one there. I don't think it was a grizzly, it was too skinny, but it was like 8, 9 feet
Like
tall.
standing
And no, and it literally ran across the road, but it was like 2 steps. It was like the road's this big, and it was like
Oh shit.
I was like,
Damn.
and it was
Damn.
upright.
Was it daytime or nighttime?
It was daytime actually, right in
So
the
you
middle of the
gotta-
day. Big brown thing, reddish brown. Just,
So obviously, like you're moving fast, it's moving fast, but you got like a relatively good look at it then.
yeah. It was, probably the car was here, and it was at the back wall.
Damn.
Just 2 feet.
That's not 2 feet.
Or 2 steps.
Two
No,
Yeah,
but,
2
like,
steps. Yeah,
Yeah, it was just
Just
like,
literally.
like, 'cause
Like-
bears
like
don't
one-
really-
one foot-
I mean, they do, but
one
they don't
foot,
really.
Not that
like
fast.
went off the
Yeah.
edge of the road. The next foot hit the middle, right in the middle, and there was like it was a 3-lane, you know, the turning lane in the middle, right in the middle of that, and then the other foot on the other side. It was,
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
So
and then
Are you
there was
sure
this
you
one
didn't
time I
just
could have
see
sworn I
Chiquito?
seen a werewolf,
okay.
but I was drinking at the time,
I mean,
and
it
there were
turns out it's
there,
just
there,
his
there might have
neighbor's
been drugs
dog.
involved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
When
don't
I
know
was
that
younger,
that
people spiked my shit a lot.
I don't know that this counts the experience that much. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like some of these things help you see things rather than like
Third eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, when I've done too much of something, the walls start moving, and I know they're not moving. So,
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like that is definitely, yeah.
I mean,
alternate
literally
state
like
of
melting
reality.
down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely caused hallucinations too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when you saw this bipedal bear run across the road, skinny bear, like what color was it?
Reddish brown,
Okay.
like a
Interesting.
dark reddish brown, because it was daytime. If it was nighttime, it would probably look just brown, but it was
You could see the
like-
redness in the.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. It was weird.
Wow.
Were you
Definitely.
were you driving alone or like was there other people in the car?
No, there's other people.
Did they see it too?
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Actually, not all of them, but us in the front seat.
Yeah.
We were
More than one. Yeah.
right.
Man, that's crazy.
That's
So
when I
like
knew I wasn't crazy.
you didn't have to like slow down at all. It was it was moving
Yeah.
that fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fast.
Hmm.
So even, I didn't even get a chance. I think I started to put on a brake, but by that point, it was already
So like
gone.
faster than like a normal person.
Yeah,
Like
Definitely.
tall. How tall do you think it was?
it's probably 7 or 8 feet.
Damn.
at least.
So like clearly not a person.
I mean, like the
Okay.
head was over
Yeah.
a sign that was close to it.
Oh,
Not just a
It was
dude in a
55 mile
Bigfoot suit.
I
This
just
was like
imagine
8
Wreck-It
feet
Ralph
tall.
Ralph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody that tall, unless Andre the Giant was roaming around back there. I don't. He'd already been passed away at that point. So
That's wild.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been him.
You know, I don't know.
Takes
It might
him
have
off the
been
list.
Andre the Giant.
Man,
What about
so
Chris?
that was it.
that's a pretty good one.
How long do you have? How much time?
Yeah, let's go.
You've seen
Let's
a
go.
lot?
All right.
He's
So
like,
when I was in high school, I was in a youth orchestra in northwest suburbs of Chicago. We practiced at a place called the Dole Mansion. Is anyone familiar with the Dole family?
mm-mm.
Not many people are. So to give you a backstory on the mansion, it was a summer home for a family called the Dole family. This was the late 1800s, early 1900s. So back then there weren't ice machines. So what they did is that you would have these monopoly businesses like the Doles had, where they would cut out big chunks of Lake Michigan ice, break them into little pieces, and distribute them throughout the country. So they were beyond wealthy. One of their summer homes was in the town that I was in this youth orchestra. Unfortunately, all the family members passed away. No one inherited the mansion, so it laid abandoned for almost 100 years there. They were about to demolish it until this non-for-profit. I forgot what the name is. It's like I think it's called Dole for the Arts, but literally anything you deem art, they have it there. Music rehearsals, weddings, wine stuff, you name it. But they renovated the house and expanded it. So when I auditioned for it, my dad worked in that town, and he told me straight up, he's like, by the way, I want you to know this house is haunted. And I was like, oh really? He's like, and my dad and I, we don't really have those kind of spiritual conversations. That's just not our dynamic. I was like, oh really? You believe in that? And he's like, Anthony, I don't believe in that stuff, but I know that place is haunted. And I was like,
I don't believe in it, but it's haunted.
I
And
was
we
like,
met your dad.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I'm like, really? And he got dead serious with me. He's like, I have met multiple people that like electricians went into that house, and they have reputations to be bar fighting, like will fight anyone, tough motherfuckers in the town, and they ran out of that place like kids. I know that place is haunted. Well, have fun at your audition. I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. Okay.
For youth orchestra? Like, how
Yeah.
old were you?
I was 17. And then when you fill out the form, basic stuff, name, age, emergency contact. One of the questionnaires they have on there is, are you superstitious? I was like, what's with this? They're like, because this place is haunted, we want you to know when you sign up for
What?
this. Yeah.
Damn.
So tried out, made it. My first experience that I had was in October. And the way the house is laid out, the expanded part, it's like a long, but like a like a dance hall like kind of room. That's where they have kind of like the bigger places or like bigger events, like a wedding or something. But they have the youth orchestra there, so you have that room, a hallway, and then a bunch of other like rooms. I don't remember what it was originally when the Dole family lived there, but they made them into kind of like closets. So what percussionists would do is that like the last song, usually there wasn't any percussion parts, or it's like one percussion part. So it was like the other of us were like, well, let's get all the percussion stuff while they're rehearsing, so we don't have to stay here for another 30, 40 minutes putting everything away. So I was putting everything away, and it's not really a closet. That's why I emphasized, like, I don't know what it was before, but it was fixed glass. So if you all are familiar or know how fixed glass works, light can come in, but you can't see anything out. So I was putting stuff away, and I heard a bunch of horses galloping outside, and I heard some girls like laughing or whatever. And I was like, oh, they must be having sleigh rides right now, because it's snowing. This is in Illinois. It's pouring snow outside. So I was like, oh, it's probably for Christmas or something, because they do that around around the end of the year. You pose with Santa, and then you go on a little sleigh ride, like kind of like a lap around the front. So I
I'm
didn't
sure
think
you've done it. I'm sure you've done it a couple
Right.
times.
yeah, I mean, but it's just a thing. And they do that there. And so
that you goes in the bag.
no, so I didn't think anything about it. So I put it away, and in passing of leaving, I met the lady who runs the nonprofit. She's been running that place for like 30 years. I went passing, I was like, oh, I didn't know you guys were doing sleigh rides so early. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I heard horses outside, and some girls laughing. I thought you guys are doing sleigh rides. She's like, it's October. We're not doing that yet. We don't start that till November. I'm like, I grew up with horses. I know what I heard. She's like, well, you can step outside. There's nothing there. Sure enough, there was nothing there.
You heard the ghost of horse girls.
Yeah, no, like horses.
Terrifying.
Yeah, but they used to like only have like drawn carriages for most.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, once I Googled it, and there was
if
a
it's
barn out in that
100-year-old
area.
house, like,
So there was, yeah. So I Googled it, and I was like, there was a barn right there. I'm like, okay, cool. They're haunted by people and horses. This is perfect. All right. The next experience I had was maybe 4 or 5 weeks later. I decided to go in the basement. I don't know why, but I was like, I'm gonna venture out.
like
in
a
this-
bad movie.
Yeah, I know. But I was like, I'm gonna try to venture this house, because I never seen the full thing. And I was down there, and you guys ever heard the term ghost stepping? So basically the way it works, I'm trying to make a visual. So like if I walk like this, like in these steps, a person behind me what's ghost stepping is you're in those steps. So it's
Sure.
kind of like,
You feel like you have a shadow.
yeah, so it's like the
Ooh.
whole premise is like for someone to mess with you. It's like kind of like stalking your prey kind of mentality. So it just hides out your senses, like, okay, dude, like leave me alone. I've known people that did that for jokes. So I got that feeling like someone was like walking in the steps I just took. And I just remember just stopping. I felt like a breath on my neck, like right here. I turned around, like closed fist, because I'm like, who's doing this? That's so stupid and weird. Turned around, there was nobody there. So I just got out of the basement area.
Smart move.
Yeah. The other,
The door didn't lock on you.
well, I mean, this is like,
That's the next.
Yeah,
thing.
right, yeah.
well, when I say it's a basement, I mean, it technically is a basement, but it's the basement of that bigger room I told you about. So it's long. Like they made that basement for like private lesson rooms. So they like broke into like small rooms.
So it's
sounds terrible.
mostly finished.
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah. The only parts that are not been refurbished or redone in the house is past the first floor, because no one uses it. So I mean, it's like a line in the sand where you go from like refurbished, this is what it looked like in its prime, to this is what it looks like now. But I'll get to that in a minute. The other incident that I heard was same practice room in that long hallway, or long bigger room. There was the way the lights worked, it's circuit lights. So it's like if you turn off one light switch, all the lights go off. So it's like if a light bulb's, there's an issue with one light bulb, all of them go off. That's just how circuits work with that. But I just remember I was sitting there, I wasn't playing a tune, and I just noticed like one light was starting to flicker, and then the next one, and the next one, and then the 3 previous went back to normal. I was like, man, that looks like footsteps the way it's walking.
Oh shit.
And then above the rehearsal room, same thing like the basement. There's practice rooms up there where they had lessons, just one-on-one lessons. We once, it was around the time that you were just running through our set because we had a gig coming up. We ran through one too, and we got a round of applause upstairs, even though there was no one up there. That was a weird one.
I'll take that,
You,
right?
you
Yeah.
all
It's just a preview.
So like, yeah, everyone stared at each other and we're like,
Take some of that ghost applause.
yeah.
At least
Ghost-
somebody's applauding.
Yeah, right.
So, but
How
everyone,
many of y'all were there playing?
I mean, there was at least 100 people in that orchestra, but we all looked at each other like, you heard that, right? Like it was clear as day, a round of applause from someone upstairs.
Whoa.
I had the the great opportunity to that same lady I said that ran the whole nonprofit. Her son was maybe 2 or 3 years younger than me, but he was in the orchestra with me. So he really grew up like being like the caretaker of that mansion with his mom. And I remember I talked to him one day. I was like, "Hey, so I'm like, you've seen some weird shit in this place?" He's like, "A few." So I told him like, "What's the weirdest one you had?" He said, "Well, on upstairs, the part where I mentioned where like it's a line in the sand, like it literally there's like holes in the wall, the drywall's like falling apart, paint is peeling off." He said, back then, this is the late 1800s, so they're dolls or life-size dolls.
Ooh,
And
I
Damn.
just
So
rewatched
that-
Annabelle. Can't do that.
yeah,
You know, Ann and Mindy watched it over the weekend
Mm.
too.
but anyway, one of the kids had it, and it was left there when they were gone. And he said the creepiest and scariest thing to me is knowing we put that doll in one room, locked the house up overnight, came back the next day, and it was in a different room.
Nope.
Never again.
Mm-mm.
Like would never.
Mm-mm.
How long did you last there?
A full school year. But the next incident I had, it was around Christmas time, and we had to move locations of rehearsals in the place because there were events going on in that big room. So we were in the dining room, living room area practice. We were just like really crammed in. It was very narrow, but it was that room, and then the the actual dining room where they eat. Maybe they had 2 dining rooms. It's a mansion, so I don't really know how to explain outside that. But I remember we were taking 5, and we were in the dining room area. There's a fireplace, and there's the original table and everything. And I remember standing right next to the fireplace. I was like, "Do you guys smell like smoke? Like someone's smoking a pipe?" And I was like, and they're like, "Yeah, it's weird because that fireplace has been lit in over 100 years." And it's like you take a step away, you don't smell anymore. And then you take a step back near the fireplace, it smells like someone smoking a pipe right there. I'm like, all right, that's weird. And then just rehearsal went back to playing. But starting at that point, I was starting to get really uncomfortable with the place when I was like, I don't like,
Yeah,
I don't want to venture anymore. And I remember, I think it was when after rehearsal or another take 5, I was like, I'm just part of me is just like, I want to check out the second floor where all this hype's all about. And that's when my instincts of like, okay, it's really hitting me was that again, that line in the sand. There is now I see what the real part of the house looks like. And I just remember I was on the last step to get to the second floor, and my upper body moved, but my leg stayed because my body's just like, we're not going. We're like, something's not right here. And I was like, all right, taking a step. The craziest moment I ever witnessed though was it was after one of those rehearsals, and I was walking in my car. This was probably a Friday night because we had a gig that Saturday. And I saw an outline of a person outside of my car, maybe like 20, 30 feet away. And there's a bad homeless problem, or it was at the time in that town. So being 17, I'm like, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry, but you gave me really concerned. You're just kind of standing in front of my car. Kind of help."
I
Like,
can
what?
so picture you.
Well, because I just see an outline of this person standing there. I
Yeah.
can't see a
Yeah.
face. I just know it's an outline of a person. And I finally got in my car, hit the bright lights on it, gone. And I just hauled out of there. And after that, I was like, I will be the last person to come in rehearsal. I'll be the first one out. I am done. I did end up talking to one time the lady that ran it, and she told me the most infamous story, the one that got it really, really popular with it being haunted, was it's known in that area called the owl story. And the owl story basically is that it was in the middle of the night, a owl broke into the master bedroom's window and died right on the bed. So for insurance purposes, she had to take a photo of the bed, and showing and in the same frame, the window it broke through. This was early 2000s, I believe. So you still had to get your negatives back from Walgreens. So she took the photo, got it from Walgreens, and then she showed a few people. And she's like, "Do you know what you just caught in that photo?" They're like, "What?" They're like, "Look at the window." And it is Mr. Dole, the name of the person, him looking back from the reflection of the window at the camera. And people are just, and you can pull it up. I mean, I can pull it up right now for you if you want. But it's, all you need to do is type up Dole Mansion Owl,
How do you spell their name?
DOLE. But I can pull it up for you.
Oh, like
That's pretty
fruit.
wild.
Damn.
Wow.
But they sold ice. Brilliant.
So you believe in ghosts then?
Yeah.
No.
That was actually maybe my next question is what do you think about that? Having experienced all that, having heard,
I don't fuck with it.
like you just don't like you don't pursue that like thought, like
Nope.
Like,
If-
do you think it's interdimensional beings or ghosts or anything? Like, is there anything that you thought that,
like what I
like,
think I saw.
the explanation of it, like, as far as,
yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah, even supernatural explanation is fine.
So I believe that as a species, we are at a level of intellect that we will never really understand, comprehend. My probably most philosophical question that I live with, it was Neil deGrasse Tyson where he is. He said his quote was, it's the question I don't ask is, like where do we come from? Where do we go? My question is that what questions are we not asking because we're just not at that level of intelligence to conceive of yet? That's where kind of my mindset is with the supernatural. I don't know if we will find it. Maybe we will. I don't know if it'll be in my lifetime, but there are always going to be things out there we just don't understand. We can't explain.
I completely understand what you're saying. Like, I've had a lot of really weird experiences.
By the way, I did find the photo. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So
You can flash on the screen.
Yeah, maybe I'll pull it up right behind you guys. Like, look out!
I mean, I have
He's
a
looking
podcast.
at you.
Actually, not a bad idea.
I have
Yeah.
a podcast of my own, and I've talked about the story.
I know.
But essentially, this is the photo she had to take. Yeah. So I'm trying to make this better. So this is the original photo. And then if you zoom in to the window in the background, you can barely see it. See it? Creepy.
Who, where?
So here's a better photo. Someone took like a negative of it. There it is in the
Oh.
back.
In the, like, okay, I was looking at the other black hole.
Yeah. But that's so people like skeptics have claimed like, oh, that's like a painting. Oh, sorry, do you see it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're good. I saw it. So this is the original. So if you zoom in here,
Okay.
and then just to give it like make it easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So skeptics are trying to claim like, oh, that's a painting of Mr. Dole because there are paintings of him in the mansion, but there is not a painting in that room.
And that's like next to or in front of a window
Yes.
where that's taken.
Yes, and I've also heard stories of people saying if you drive past the Dole Mansion at a certain time at night, if you look in that bedroom, you'll see a lady in all white looking back at you. But I never experienced that.
Damn.
And as soon as we said all that, like there was some weird
Yeah.
noise. So.
I thought I saw it
They're here.
once. I
They came
could
all
be
the way
wrong,
from
but I can't say with 100% certainty. But
Road trip.
Every time, right?
you go, I'm staying in the car. I'm not going back in that mansion. I've
What
served
do
my
you-
time.
What do you think happens after we die?
I think we are surrounded by the ones we love.
And that's it.
I like that.
That's what's going on.
That's what I like to believe.
It's cool.
I like that. If you were, which I guess like that's like an intuitive thing, like you kind of feel that way, or is that based on okay? When you think about that, do you think it's like kind more or less physical, like I'm here, you're there, or is it just like a soup, like you know what I'm
Consciousness
saying?
soup.
I don't know. I hope
Consciousness soup.
Yeah.
It's a good punk band.
Yeah.
I hope when I get to that point in my life, I am looking forward to it rather than being concerned or
Oh,
scared
yeah.
of it.
I mean, why why
At that point, I'm hoping.
why
I'm-
worry about it, because it's going to happen either way.
Well, I hope I get to that point where I'm very fulfilled in my life and I've done what I wanted to do, or at least most of it, where I'm looking forward to seeing what is next.
Yeah, me too. I very curious. I'm not necessarily in a hurry to get there, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
That's something we ask everyone who comes on, and I like getting different perspectives on it because I kind of like think about it too much. Like I think about it
Yeah.
intrusively.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
What do
Yeah.
you think happened?
So I've had like a lot of really weird experiences. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and I was also homeschooled.
Oh shoot.
So I was
yeah.
like extremely what's the word, sheltered. Like, and then when I turned 18, I moved out.
Homeschooled Catholic. I got you.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah.
Private
the-
Christian school K-8. So
Okay, you guys can relate then. Yeah, it's like, did you guys have like friends outside of that, or
yeah, some like
were you raised religiously also?
Yes, not through academics, but I am, well, that part of family I'm in is considered the black sheep, where they chose education before religion, because the side of family I'm in are firm believers that you always have religion in your life, you can always go back to it, but you got to make sure you have that education the
Sure.
first 18 years of your life.
Yeah,
Which,
makes sense.
which some of the people in my family that are in cults find that very irresponsible and terrible parenting to do that, which I completely disagree.
Yeah, I think religion is not for kids. Like, you can't force that on people. Like, that has to be something you go to, I think. First of all, it's just not going to stick, like, clearly, right? Like, it's just not.
Well, my mother thinks God is an alien, and she said you can believe whatever the hell you want.
I think your
And I
mom's
was
right.
5.
I think your mom's right. That's oh, to answer your question. So I was raised very sheltered, and I got away from that when I was 18. I moved out. All my family still is very deep in that. And it I have a lot of respect for it, because like, when my family like knocks on your door, they're like, at least, especially my sister, like, they're trying to save your life. Like, they're trying to, and like, I think it's really misguided, but I like a lot of the people involved in stuff like that, regardless of what it is, like, have really good intentions.
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. And so, but I got away from all that. And I was very much like an annoying atheist when I was like 18, like 20, 21, 22, where I'm just like, fuck religion. It's all
when
bullshit.
it's shoved down your throat your whole life, I'm
Yeah.
sure all you want to do is get out of it.
Exactly.
I get it, you know.
And then like, I'd always been interested in the occult, like, I guess, like, aesthetically, like cringy Hot Topic kind of way, like Tim Burton. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Why would it be cringy?
so this is an old term, like 1800s, but there's a term called a penny dreadful, which is
I watched the HBO series.
Yeah,
British
yeah.
Times series.
pretty good show.
It really was.
But the idea, that actual term is someone who's like really interested in these things but doesn't know anything about it. It's like very superficial.
They were a series of short stories in newspapers, weren't they? And they called them penny dreadfuls because they were little
Oh.
pamphlets.
I wonder, that's interesting. I wonder,
Because it was they cost a penny.
so I wonder if,
So, and they were just known as dreadful stories. So
You
they
know,
were just
that's
a
a
collection of ghost stories and
Yeah.
vampire stories.
I didn't
and,
know that.
you know
yeah,
that's
like
the theory
Vampire with a
about
Lie.
you know that's the theory of people believing like the origins of houses or homes being haunted in America, right? The theory is that the theory is that no homes are actually haunted. It's the Addams family that created that concept in our heads. Because all those homes, including the one I mentioned, they were all from that big, I think, post-Victorian or Victorian era, where it's like very tall buildings, very narrow windows, and all those homes were coincidentally like secondary summer homes for most people. And when a lot of those families died, no one inherited those homes. And then maybe about 20-ish years later, a little comic strip came out during the newspapers called The Addams Family, which described them living in those homes, and no one really knows if they're people or not. And then right around the time or shortly after those comics started coming out, people were then starting to report that they were seeing weird things in those homes. So the question is,
Interesting.
are we really seeing the paranormal in those homes, or is it just the Addams family created that
Chicken and
idea
egg.
in our mind?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
paranoia, the paranormal, especially the type that you described, almost sounds like broken record. Think of it like
agree.
think of it like a playback of emotions.
An imprint. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not
Yeah.
really conscious.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
Not to say all ghosts are like that, but a lot of them are. And then some of them actually have intentions, poltergeists.
I think you're
stuff
onto
like that.
something there.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I've had a lot longer than y'all to think about it.
Fair enough.
but when I'd always been interested in that kind of stuff. So me and my partner at the time, I was probably like 22, something like that.
Hmm.
We bought a board, and I've told this story before, so I'm gonna kind of give some like clip notes. But this is circular. It's not. I know now that your standard Ouija board is called an evocation board, where it's rectangular and the letters are splayed like a rainbow,
Mhm.
and it has a wishbone shaped planchet that goes on top of it. What we bought was an invocation board, which is just a circle, and the letters go A, B, C, D, E, like that. And the planchet is also a circle. It's like a dial, and it actually kind of looks like a rotary phone. It's funny, but how do I give like a short version of that? We can talk more about it later, but I've had like, so I just don't want to bog down this with, we'll get back to you guys, but I think what happens is I've had weird experiences like that. I've also had weird experiences on hallucinogenic drugs like DMT, like mushrooms, acid, and that's mostly DMT, which gives me kind of like my philosophy about shit. But I was shown once on a trip, not told, but kind of like it's in front of me, that like kind of in the beginning, there's like one consciousness, and that's like a very profoundly lonely feeling to be the only thing. So it creates a simulation, sort of, where it's calling it a simulation is misleading because it is real in the context of how like this is tangible, but like it created life so it could go down and pretend it's not alone. So I think we are all the same thing. Grass is the same thing. Animals are the same. It's all one thing, kind of looking in a mirror. So what happens after we die? I think you can return to kind of this nirvana hive mind soup that we call God, or you can have you can be reincarnated. There's not really one answer, I don't think. I think
it's a choice.
Hmm.
I mean, unconsciously, it's a choice when you do die. Like like you're not going to remember it because you pretty much, when you're born, it's not like your memory's erased. It's just a spark of something, and then your personality builds around your life experiences and what you do. But then when you die again, you probably become that spark again with all those memories you've had from before and before that.
Kind of just like in the background.
You're just going to automatically know. But your human brain is not equipped to understand it all.
Oh, interesting. So it's got to like kind of filter through the brain. Yeah. I don't think there's one simple answer. Kind of like you said, like there's a choice, there's options involved. I know in like Vedic religion, there's like 9 different possible options. It's not
Vedic, it's Indian.
9 options. I can get into that. That sounds
yeah, it's not like black and white. Like there's a myriad of things, or a
Right,
tangible number, but
that's based on how you've lived your life as a human.
Oh, you don't get to choose. It's not
Right,
like
exactly. It's kind of like, well, you do choose, but you choose it through your actions.
through your life.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
You choose to
during
not
your
being a
life.
piece of shit.
Right.
Fuck.
Damn it. How quickly can you get back
Well,
to your favor?
But if
Shit,
you
dude.
but if you think about it in those terms, what really is good and bad? Because
yeah,
it really doesn't matter in
Yeah.
the end.
yeah. I think it's more like
Sure, it's subjective.
like, you know how like
Everyone's their own superhero.
like someone hits a wrong note, like it's wrong. Like you just know. And you know, you can make genres of music like that where you hit wrong notes on purpose.
But is it wrong?
Jazz.
Because all of our music is based on I think
Jazz.
who was it?
Yeah.
Beethoven, right?
It's
We
just based
created
on
the
something.
scales
It's like
and
language,
the
right? We just
tones.
made it
And
up.
like the hertz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the different tones,
That's why it's called
A
music
through
theory,
G.
not music law.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's like
Okay, yeah,
things like
yeah.
octaves are clearly there, but I mean, we made up the
We made up the scales.
scale.
I would say like
And
It's not
we
collectively,
even
all use
great,
it.
or it's not even perfect. I'm not gonna say it's not great.
It's all
It is
humans,
great.
ours.
In other music,
Mm.
the scale is completely different.
this is a kind of a semantical thing, but I would say if people collectively agree that that note's right and that one's wrong, you can still have anomalies in that, and it like they're just the odd one out on it, but that doesn't mean that the note isn't right
Mhm.
versus wrong. If we like can like more or less agree on it. I think it's more like that where it's like everyone, or not everyone, most people have like this guidance system in them of, well, I know like that like makes me feel bad to do that, so I know that's bad.
And
Or
it's
like,
wrong to you.
yeah,
And that's based on your experience.
yeah. And I think, would you guys say that there are or not certain of those things like that are ingrained and like accepted as true, like murder bad except contextual, right? Like there are obviously certain circumstances where it isn't, but like that doesn't mean that murder isn't bad just because some people don't agree with it, right?
Murder's against the law.
Yeah, murder's against the law. Well,
Okay,
there's-
so that might
Your
shape our
laws,
morality.
your
Yeah,
laws actually pretty much imprint on you from a young age what is good and bad.
Because it's what has consequences.
To me, what's good and bad is I don't want it to be done to me, so I'm not going to do it to somebody else.
so without there being
But
like,
that's just to me.
so like
Some people aren't like that.
if there wasn't law, like we're all cavemen, and there's except like cases where it's justified, like indiscriminate murder, wouldn't you say like that people would kind of agree that that's wrong collectively? Or, and maybe that is
That's why we
government.
have laws.
That is
Because
government.
people did agree that that was wrong.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So okay, so it yeah, and that's kind of, that's something we put on it still. It's
And I
still
think
just
we put it
subjective.
on ourselves because each of us individually, I don't want to get murdered. Do you want to get murdered?
Preferably not.
Not today.
So since we don't want it, then we're not going to do it to somebody else.
I always looked at it as like it's disadvantageous to piss people off
That's where
and
I'm
like
at.
be a pain to other people. And
Yeah.
so it was like morality came about as a like way for us to be better with socially with each other.
Where I was going with all that is I think there are like inherent morals without having to be told about them. Now that's not true of everyone. There's going to be anomalies to that, but
Right.
I think for the most part that's true. I don't know. I'm very much like, I believe in people. I think people are good for the most part, with exceptions, except that like our culture and society makes people sick and like makes people act a certain way. I don't think where we're at right now is of our own doing. I think there's either external forces or just the situation we're put in has made people sick. I don't know.
So what are your paranormal experiences?
I have a lamp that just turns on and off by itself, but that's pretty much, I think it's just short wiring, but I've had it at 3 different places and it still turns off and on by itself, but
Damn, like flickering or
Can you still have it?
it's from my grandpa.
Maybe he's
Grandpa's
in
doing
it.
it.
He's alive still.
you'll find out like
It's still grandpa.
Did you say that?
It's
No, the man can't even like write a letter back anymore. He doesn't know how to
He
like,
only
have
knows-
a trick lamp.
he's
That
got-
is the greatest plot twist to a horror movie ever. It's got to be possessed. No, he's
your
doing
grandpa's just a
great.
massive
No,
troll.
no,
he's
he's
fine.
he's doing great. So what's wrong with this lamp? I never said anything was wrong with this lamp. You just made accusations.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like
Roll
that
credits.
lamp. What do you think happens after we die?
and you know, I definitely was, you know, you kind of talked about what your parents kind of brought you up in versus what you kind of chose for yourself, but I mean, I definitely believe that dependent on, you know, where you're at, I mean, I do believe in like a heaven and a hell, and I would like to think that, you know, that things live on like here, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, you get your time on Earth and then it's up, and then ultimately, I would love to, have my belief of there being an afterlife of, someone actually atoning for all the terrible shit that I've ever done on Earth, and like, Jesus and the Trinity and stuff like that. But yeah, like, so I definitely became a Christian on my own accord, besides it just being what my parents shoved down my throat. They probably would not agree with a lot of stuff that I am or do now. But that's the irony in a lot of people who are Christians, is that they don't accept people for how they are, which is exactly where like nothing can be like comparatively, there's the good and bad of things, and then there's like, you go back to like even Jewish type stuff of like 10 Commandments and stuff of like the Jewish people being like, all right, like what should we do? Like what's good, what's bad, and trying to do that type of stuff. I feel like that's, yeah, it is what it is, but ultimately I don't feel like it's anything that I would do if I ever get to anywhere better than where Earth is, or if I ever was anywhere except for if there was someone who was like a perfect sacrifice. So yeah, that's kind of where,
Makes sense.
yeah, and so there's a hot debate and topic on that, but yeah, that's kind of where I hope and believe that there would be anything else. Because if I'm wrong, then like, well, then there's not much other like, what else could I,
Yeah, it gives life like a meaning. Like
yeah, definitely. So I feel like I've had more supernatural experience like that on my own, of like spiritual discovery, than I have like bad
Yeah.
deities, which I'm happy to say.
I
So
I didn't know it at the time, but like I've felt like the Holy Spirit like being at the church I grew up in, but didn't know it until I met other things, and I'm like, oh, that's a similar feeling. Like
yeah, sure.
I've felt this before, but in like a different way. And it's like, yeah. What do you guys? Yeah.
Hmm?
What do you think happens after we die?
Have you had any paranormal experiences? Have you
The
seen Bigfoot?
twofold.
I have not seen Bigfoot. No, but the only thing that really sticks out is there's a video of me playing on what am I trying to say? The auditorium stage in my high school, and in the video you can see an orb fly by, and it's not a fly, it's a fucking orb. Like it's like
It just like zips in and out.
it just zoop right across the screen. It's like,
in the auditorium.
say what you will about ghosts, they're fucking real.
How
Or is that alien though? Like,
is
No,
there a
I
difference?
well, I don't know.
He must have
Listen,
been fucking killing it at that show.
I
bro.
know. I had the ghost popping around.
You know what?
No, but-
I believe it. Like, you were killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're both getting applauded.
Yeah, yeah, right,
That's
yeah.
how we actually got made it in the band.
I'm
Laura
trying to
heard
get
these
the
stories and like,
underworld
well,
to clap
maybe
for
we
me.
got to give these guys a chance.
Yeah.
Or it was an angel.
Nobody else will give us a
heavenly.
chance,
Maybe,
right?
maybe. I don't
Yeah, you guys
know,
are a
you know?
huge hit in other dimensions.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right.
Put that on the EPK.
Do they,
Yeah.
do they have vinyls in the other
Like, what the
dimension?
fuck are these guys smoking?
Yeah.
Link below. Aliens and ghosts.
Oh my
That's right.
God.
All the alien ghosts.
So, any ideas about what happens after we die?
Kind of similar to what Laura was saying. With my Catholic background, I believe in a heaven and a hell, kind of, and it's, I don't know, obviously exploring, mushrooms and things like that. There's definitely question to what it could be, I mean, but I think, I guess it's kind of like with the morals thing, like I kind of stick to my roots and stick to those beliefs, and until
Until proven otherwise.
proven otherwise, man, like I'm just gonna keep living like I
Yeah.
feel like I should be, and like she said, like, dude, some of the like the most Catholic people I've met are the most judgmental people it's like, it's ridiculous. Like,
It's not
that's
very
not,
good.
that's
Even
not the way
immoral,
Jesus was fucking
know?
living,
There's a lot of
Yeah.
immorality in that type of environment.
Exactly, and hell,
It's
there could be a bunch of fucking Satan worshipers in here, and I'd be like, well, I'm gonna live my fucking life, and you guys live yours, and
I feel like pretty similar to what you guys have said. Like I have a lot of respect for scripture. Like
Yeah, for sure.
it took me a while
It's a
to get
good
there.
book, whether you
Yeah.
like believe
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
Bible
yeah.
or not. Like the Odyssey's cool too.
It's
like,
fucking
Bible's a good
interesting as
book.
hell, and they
This
talk
is-
about aliens and dinosaurs and
Yeah.
dragons and all kinds of shit, man. It's all, you know.
It's definitely not boring. Like I mean, it can read boring sometimes, but the contents in it are
Right.
like fucking nuts.
I mean, yeah, like, dude, you ever read Genesis? Fucking just
It's
go back,
crazy.
just
It's
go
just
back
popping,
and
bro.
read Genesis. That's it.
Yo, Genesis
And then
is
just see
lit,
what's
dog.
up after that, dude. It's
Oh,
fucking
man,
crazy.
You can make a whole like.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
there's a lot to explore out there, you know, and I feel like maybe there is no one, you know, answer. I mean, who can really say, you know?
I think that I can say.
Oh yeah.
I think
Alex has the authority.
yeah, I'm the ultimate
Thank
authority
you,
on
Lord.
scripture. Fight me.
Yeah.
I think that the Bible's right, but mainstream religion doesn't know what it means. It's like they have no idea what they're talking about, but what's in there is true.
Well, you got to think about it, all that's been left out of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another thing is, you know, they
I mean, books and volumes of it destroyed over the years.
Yeah,
yeah.
Found again, omitted purposely
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they wanted women to be subservient.
it's called
Right.
apocrypha. Like they
you just-
specifically
All
uncanonized
kinds
it.
of things.
Yeah,
Right. Reinterpreted it to how they
Yeah.
wanted us to see it.
it's like maybe don't put that part in there.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
religion itself was literally created to control society.
Oh, for sure. My understanding, I shout out to Danny Burgess and also that ghost in there. But
They're moving.
Ghost,
My,
ghostly. Mm.
I have a friend that's been on the show a bunch of times that studies Hebrew. And from my understanding, just listening to him and just research on my own, like creationist literal interpretation is like a fairly recent concept. Like people haven't said, no, that's exactly literally what happened for about 500 years now. And it was not a concept for most of the duration of the book. It's like a pretty new idea. And it is like, I don't know, what we were talking earlier about, like whether you believe it or not, it's still a good book. And I think not taking those stories literally kind of gives it more value to it. Like it's actually deeper if it's not literally happening, I guess. I think it is happening. It's just not the way it's exactly described. It's like kind of a deeper concept than that. But anyway, yeah.
No, yeah, it's
I mean, there's a lot of descriptions of things in there that I just didn't understand at the time.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I know for sure is that no matter where we go, we are conscious beings. We have electricity running through our bodies, and when we go, that energy is released.
Mm.
You know,
That's like
So-
observable.
You
Just
gotta go release
Yeah.
some energy on stage. When do you have to
I
go
do.
play?
I need to play in about 15 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
So-
shit.
But I mean,
Godspeed.
yeah,
Godspeed,
play in
Johnny.
play in
Shit.
15
Oh,
minutes.
shit,
That's
man.
okay. We won't start for another
Johnny,
half.
we love you. Take off.
Yes. Love you
Johnny,
guys.
thank you so much for
No,
coming.
thank
We're about to wrap
Alex.
up here.
We'll
anyway.
have a
Right on,
surrogate
Chris.
Yeah.
Farrah for you,
Got
but
it.
there is no surrogate Farrah.
Appreciate all y'all.
Love you, mate.
Love you, dude.
You
That
might
was good
emergency
seeing
contact,
Yeah.
mate.
Good to see
I
you
just,
guys.
I got one more question.
Yes.
What is, or I mean, you can go if you need to go, but
Yeah,
Shout out.
what
Fuck it. What you got?
where does the name floater come from? What is that?
It's just individual nomad belonging to nothing
Oh.
but can fit in anywhere, basically.
Nice. Yeah.
Peace
Oh,
and
like-
love.
yeah.
Peace and love. That's how we
I
do
love
it.
peace and love.
You know.
I told
I
them
just
this
want
means
there to
peace
be
among
world
worlds.
peace. Love
Yeah.
you, fuckers.
All right, yo.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Johnny, thanks for coming, man.
Godspeed.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Godspeed,
one.
Johnny.
You need the
And-
duality, the dichotomy, if you will.
I'm gonna go talk to this ghost real quick.
Okay, watch yourself.
And yeah, you guys have a show October 22nd at, you said Dark Matter,
October 22nd, Dark Matter.
and then November 21st.
November 21st at the end.
Hell yeah, with Omen Bringer.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Black
Water
Water
down.
down.
hell yeah, that's right.
And floater. F1.
Floater,
I'm
links
playing with
below.
Black Water.
Cardboard is out now. EP singles coming soon, and definitely catch them at those shows on those dates. Yeah, we'll see you next week.